Hey, Teresa, what episode was it again?
I don't know. You might want to check.
I think it was episode 23.
Hey, this is John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and you're listening to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. You must be prepared to ignite.
Struggling to get your business online? You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Michael and Teresa Blaze.
Welcome to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. I'm Michael, and I'm here with my better half, my lover of my life, and my wife, and all that good fun stuff, Teresa.
Hello there, everybody. I trust all is well. I know we've been kind of silent these past couple of weeks, but yeah, we're back and we're ready to roll.
Yeah, we've kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus with the holidays and stuff, but we wanted to get back on track so we be ready to roll into the new year, and we're going to have some good stuff coming up.
Indeed.
So, as far as announcements, not really any announcements right now. I think we're just going to go ahead and drop into the content.
That sounds good to me. Mike, what are we doing?
We are going to be talking about inbound selling.
Ew, selling. That's kind of a nasty word, isn't it?
Depends on your perspective. Inbound selling is a heck of a lot easier than outbound selling, let me tell you.
Yeah, but it's selling, and some may not be good at that.
Well, I'm not good at it, honest. Well, I am, but I don't like it. I did telemarketing for almost 5 years. I hate cold calling with a passion.
Okay, well, then isn't inbound selling similar? I mean, aren't you selling?
You are selling, but instead of you reaching out to your client's reaching back to you.
Well, that seems to be the difference, doesn't it?
It is the difference. And it's a lot easier because they're reaching out to you because they want to know what you have for them. And
I see.
So we have 10 amazing, powerful tips regarding inbound selling. So, with no further ado, tip number 1. You have to be easy to find and your message has to be clear. Make sure you have your own website, social media, mailing list, etc. covered.
That is key.
Yeah, that's your platform.
I mean, it really is. I mean, look, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're selling. There's that word again. You know, you got to have your stuff in order.
Yeah.
I mean, you really, really do. You got to have a website. You know, now, I mean, I'm not saying if you build it and they're going to come. That doesn't work that way. Your website is your home base. Okay. Your website's kind of that place that they come to. Your social media is supposed to, get their attention and pull and bring people back. Not to be sold, but to be educated. For example, I'm a huge believer in financial education, in understanding how things work financially. I follow Robert Kiyosaki, for example. Okay? Well, him and a few others. But if I see a new blog post by him, what am I going to do? I'm going to go click on the link to go read it. By the way, where did I see it from? Twitter. Okay. What is he doing? He's using inbound selling. He's imparting his message, and I'm going over to read it. In fact, I have it up on my screen. I had it up on my screen just before we started this podcast. He's using his message, his ability to use his platform, to bring me back to his home base, where he can sell to me, where he can market to me, where he can do all kinds of things. That is key.
Absolutely. And I have a resource for this one.
Do you?
I do. So I want to recommend the book by Michael Hyatt called Platform.
Ah, yes, Platform. I know we've mentioned it before on this podcast, but I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to really set up a good platform, that one is a must-read.
Agreed. In fact, one of our good friends who is going to be on the show in the next few weeks.
Shout out to Michael Babcock, yourownpay.com.
Yep.
Check him out. He's a good sort.
He's actually reading that book right now, and his comment was, "Why didn't I read this before I got started?"
I think that could be said of a lot of books, but especially that one. It's a must-read.
I completely and thoroughly agree with you. So, on with the tips. Tip number 2. Be clear on who your customers and your target audience are. Now, we've beaten this one to death, Therese.
Yeah, I know we have, but I think for the sake of the podcast, because we may have a few new listeners, we might want to cover it again. Be clear who your audience is. In other words, you want to create something called an avatar. It could be referred to as your customer avatar, your listener avatar, your blog avatar. It takes a lot of different forms. But essentially what it is knowing as much as you can about the person you're trying to reach.
Right. And don't make the mistake of trying to reach out to everybody. I can't tell you the number of business owners that we've talked to that have said, well, my customers are everybody.
Actually, your customers are nobody if you have that frame of mind. If you are a business owner, and let's say you're a lawyer, well, who's your prospect? I just want people to come to me to do this and so. Okay, so then your customers are not home insurance people. They're not looking to set up a corporation. Your customers have a specific need or a specific set of needs. They have a specific target market, and they make a certain amount of income.
Right.
You need to get that specific.
I totally agree. And so many business owners make this mistake. Because if you're talking at your audience instead of talking to your audience, your people are not going to resonate with that. But if you're talking to your ideal customer and you know who that ideal customer is, you're going to resonate with them.
Like we know who our person is.
Yep.
We know exactly who our customer is. And that's okay. Guess what? We don't fit everybody, and we're not looking to fit everybody.
Right. Okay, on with the tips. Okay, tip number 3. Attracting leads should be a daily priority. Do something every day that will generate more leads. Okay, so this is called consistency.
I know it's difficult, and it's one of those words you kind of choke on because you're like, I'm not that.
Sorry.
Yes, that. Yes. Anyway, it's one of those things that's easy to say. It's like, yeah, I need to be more consistent, especially coming into a new year. Maybe you're going to make a New Year's resolution, and you're sitting there going, I want to be more consistent. Right. Okay, how are you going to do that? You want to blog. Okay? Maybe you want to check out some of this new stuff called live video, which, by the way, we should be. You know what, Mike? We ought to cover that next week.
You want to cover live video? We can cover live video.
Yeah, I think I do.
And I want to cover, sometime in the next few weeks, I want to cover goal setting.
Oh, yes, definitely, especially with the new year coming up.
Yep.
Anyway, back to what we were saying.
Got to keep the New Year's resolution people happy.
Oh, yes. Anyway, consistency. Essentially, what you want to do is kind of sit down and go, what do I want to get done, and what do I have to do to get there?
Right.
Okay? And the biggest thing you want to do, ask yourself, why am I doing this?
Okay, so for example, let's say you decided that you're going to blog once a week. And if you're blogging, you should blog no less than once a week. Honestly.
Preferably more.
If you can do more, do more. It's better. The more posts you put up, the more Google notices you and gives you that feather in your cap, so to speak, and you'll get more traffic.
There you go.
So, blogging more often obviously is better. But let's say that you're going to blog once a week. Well, what are you going to do on your alternate days? If you're blogging, you're writing your blogs on Friday, what are you going to do the rest of the week? Well, let's see. You can work on your site, make sure that all your SEO stuff is taken care of.
You could take that same blog post and repurpose it.
Right.
For example, what I've seen a lot of people do, and what I plan to start doing with my posts, is take them, and I want to wait about 24 hours, make sure they get firmly comfortable on the home base, because I want the home base to get the link to first.
Right.
And then I'm going to go take them and I'm going to go put them up on LinkedIn and Medium. Why? Because they are relevant to those markets. In fact, they talk about the things that usually a lot of people like to read in those markets. And it will drive traffic back to my site.
And another thing that you want to do is you want to build social media links. And another episode we're going to talk about that when we talk about marketing automation.
Yep.
So we got some awesome stuff coming up for you guys. So the point is, do something every day that'll generate more leads. Reach out on social media. Create a video that links back to your blog. Do a live video that links back to your blog. What else, Therese?
Set up those social media links.
If you're going to do paid traffic, send some paid traffic to your blog.
Now, here's a tip. If you're going to do paid traffic, do not send to a squeeze page. Well, why? I want people to join my list. I want people to buy my stuff. Of course you do. But the paid traffic, people, the Facebooks and the YouTubes and all them, you know what their main concern is? Their user base. Adding value to their user base. And all you need to do is go, okay, if that's the case, if I know that that's what they want to do, then I need to do stuff that's going to add value. Which means send the paid traffic to a blog article. Or perhaps in the case of Facebook, maybe send the traffic to an instant article.
And that's what you're going to kind of start seeing from us more and more. The blog post, the show notes are going to have a link down at the bottom or a form down at the bottom where you can get a resource. And this one is no exception.
Mm-hmm.
So,
by the way, Mike, before we go on to our next tip, I want to make a special offer to our people here, talking about, newsletters and resources and stuff like that.
Let's do that at the end, Therese.
Oh, okay. I think we can do that.
Yeah, we'll keep them. We've got a gift for you guys, but you're going to have to wait till the end to find out what it is. Okay. Tip number, where are we at? 4?
Yep.
Okay. Remember that sometimes it is better to build a smaller list of paying customers than a larger list of freebie seekers.
Oh, do I know this one? Let me tell you guys something. Sometimes you may get a large list, but sometimes they are freebie seekers. Is that a bad thing? Well, it depends. I mean, if you're wanting to make money, then yeah. What you want to do, because I have a list, but it's kind of cold and they're freebie seekers and they got on my list because I made the mistake of not selling them something early on. That will be changing very soon. That said, I've heard about people that have done a list of 500 people and made money. And that...
You got to start somewhere.
Agreed.
And even if you're starting with just a few, you've got to start somewhere. And what you need to do, a list of freebie seekers is fine, but then what you need to do is convert that list into paying customers.
Now, how can you do that? Let me give you one tip. If you know that they like free stuff, then offer them free stuff that ends with a paid result. For example, a free trial. Okay? If you find something where you can offer them a free trial, but at the end of that free trial, they end up buying, guess what? They're no longer a freebie seeker, and they're now making you money.
Totally agree. All right, tip number 5. Qualify your prospects as soon as possible. You want to make sure you attract the right people.
Ah, yes. Goes back to that knowing who your perfect customer is, doesn't it?
Yep.
You want to qualify them. I know for a fact there are certain people that, can't pay for a website. Why? Because I know what I want. I know that I want someone that can handle $1,000 for a website or more.
Yep.
That's who I want. And I'm not going to sit there and lower my prices or try and please everybody, because then I devalue
Trust me,
what
you can't. I don't care how hard you try. And to be honest with you, when you do try to do that, when you lower your standards and you lower your expectations just to try to drag more people in, it blows up, because those people are going to require more time of you. They're going to require more effort of you, and they're not going to appreciate what you are putting in front of them. I speak from experience. Let me tell you.
And the other thing too is you can't serve them as well.
Right.
I mean, you really can't, because you won't have the capital to get the things done you need to get done, because you didn't charge enough to cover, to cover what you need to cover. I mean, this is real business, guys.
Yes.
If you want to really make the money and serve your customer, you better charge what your service is worth.
Please don't make that mistake. We have, and now we finally corrected it, and we are much more pleased with our operation that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
with that, Mike?
Okay, tip number 6, I think. Yep, 6.
Yep.
Map out your funnel. All those leads won't do you any good if you don't have a solid plan with what to do to them. Do to them. Yeah, right. To do with them.
You know what? This is true. This is really true. I heard a really good business model, and it's kind of one of those ones. You know what? That makes sense. You want to give away something for free? You want to have a one-time paid product? You want to have a fixed-term membership? And then you want to do an ongoing recurring product. Now, did I say anywhere that something or that funnel had to be an info product?
Let me give you an example of a funnel that we use in our own business. We have a service called reputation marketing. Now, before you can do anything with reputation marketing, you need to make sure that you have all your business properties, business directories claimed, and everything matches. Okay? So what we do is we offer a low-hanging offer. We'll go out
by the way,
and claim all those properties for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as a bonus, we'll give you a free month of our reputation monitoring service, where we monitor your reputation, and if you want to continue it, you can pay us a certain amount per month.
Oh, by the way, you know what the free offer is? You can check, where you're at right now. And it doesn't cost you anything to check. But,
right.
But the low-end offer is to get us to fix it. It costs you a small amount. That's what I'm talking about, guys.
Sometimes it's called a tripwire offer.
And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to localrepscore.net.
Yep.
So, Mike, tip number 7, I believe?
Tip number 7. Get lots of content out in various formats, and don't forget to repurpose. That's kind of a reiteration of what we've already said.
I think I said something about repurposing.
Yeah, I believe you had mentioned that, yes.
Yes,
and I believe you mentioned various formats as well.
Video, audio, text, images, slide shares. There's so many ways you can do it. It's not even funny.
Infographics.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just get it out there. As many formats as you can. Get it out there. And, for example, what we're doing with our stuff, we're going through these 10 tips with you right now. We have images that we're going to be putting out that have these 10 tips on them and link them back to the blog, or to the podcast rather, so that someone who hasn't found us before can they find the image, they follow the link back, and wow, they're on the podcast page, and now they're listening to the podcast and finding out about all 10 tips. The other thing we do is we have an infographic that we're going to be putting out there for those people that like infographics. Another thing we're going to be doing is putting out a video and linking that video back. All of these things link back to the podcast, drive traffic back, so that they can engage with the podcast.
Is it hard? Yeah. Is it worth it? Mm-hmm. So
I'll picture it this way, guys. You got a map, okay? And in this map are a bunch of thumbtacks. You got your main thumbtack, big red thumbtack. And you've got pieces of string that go from those thumbtacks to a bunch of other thumbtacks. So you've got these strings stretched all the way across the map, okay? Those other spots are the other places that you're producing content. And Google loves this because they're good links. And when people like them and share them, they're even better links. So that's important. Okay, tip number 8.
Yep.
Okay, don't be afraid to share the good stuff. Wow them to the point that they can't wait to see what you have for sale.
I have seen that more often. I mean, I will read something and I'll go, you know what? Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, the best one I've seen do that is Jeff Walker. I'm sorry, there is nobody better. If you ever want to understand that process, check out Jeff Walker's book called Launch.
And we will link to that one as well.
Yes. So, okay. So, tip number 9. Target different subgroups of prospects so that you can speak and market to them with specific content and offers.
This is what we call segmentation. And let me tell you something. It's a lot easier now than it was.
Oh, man.
This is where I want to kind of bring in a little something. If you, let's say,
wait till
you
the
have
end.
a news.
Wait till the end. Not yet. Wait till the end.
But Mike.
Wait.
Fine.
Good things come to those who wait.
See, I'm so excited to give you guys this information that,
Okay, so.
Tip number 10.
The point is, not all prospects are created equal. And even the prospects that pay, they may not be buying your content for the same reasons. So what you want to do is speak to each to each audience or to each sub-audience, if you will, in their voice, with their needs and their issues.
For example,
okay,
the person that may want to learn how to start a business is different from the person who has a business but is trying to figure out how to get it going.
Exactly.
And you want to kind of reach out to them differently. And, it is possible to do, but, you need to know who your audience is.
Agreed. All right. Tip number 9. 9? No, 10. Excuse me.
Tip number 10.
Tip number 10. Drum roll, please. Use tracking and testing to get better at what you do over time. Oh, yes. What you can't measure, you can't fix.
Or as my good friend Mark Rest always says, test, track, measure, tweak.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
At the minimum, make sure you got Google Analytics in place on every website that you have.
Or at least some form of analytics software, because you cannot, I mean, look, it's about the numbers. If you don't know how much traffic you're getting, you can't do something to fix it or improve it.
Right. And especially if you're using any kind of paid advertising, you want to know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, so you can get rid of the ads that don't.
And when you talk about testing, what you're talking about is sometimes it's referred to as A/B testing. It's a little difficult to do sometimes, but again, it's become a lot easier. What A/B testing is when you have two different, you have two very similar marketing pieces, okay? Marketing piece 1 might have a blue headline, marketing piece 2 might have a red headline, okay? You only test one thing at a time.
So you only test the headline.
Or you might test the price, or you might test the having a video on there versus not having a video on there. Okay, so as I was saying, you test only one item at a time, and this is called your variable. Everything else is the same. What that will tell you, you send an equal amount of traffic to both marketing pieces, and what that will tell you is which one converts better.
Then, the one that converts better, you test against something else.
Only the best marketers do this, okay? And if you want to be good at, you want to really get good at your game, it's something you have to do. And we will be getting into this a lot more when we start talking about marketing automation.
Indeed.
Okay?
Indeed.
So that's the 10 tips. So now I will let Teresa let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. Wow!
Finally. Anyway, never mind the fact I've got a cat laying at the foot of our bed, but, you know.
Well, let her out of the bag. Jeez.
Oh, all right. So here's the thing, guys. We talked about a little bit about email marketing in tip number 1.
Yep.
And we also talked about segmentation just a bit ago, didn't we?
Yep.
Now, we have tested out a lot of autoresponder softwares. And we have settled on one. Okay? I mean, we've done a lot of them. We've done the self-hosted softwares. We've done the paid per month software. And we finally settled on, and the thing is, it gives you the high-end automations at a very affordable price. And I can get you a free month if you go check out our link. And I'm talking about ConvertKit. For those that do not know what ConvertKit is, it is a email autoresponder specifically built for the blogger, the podcaster, the platform builder. Okay? Now, here's what got me. It's also accessible. Does it have a few things it needs to tweak? Yeah. But you know what? I'm working with them on that. But I'm going to give it my endorsement. You know why? Because I can actually go in there and look around and I understand what I'm looking at and I can actually see it with my screen reader. But more importantly, for you, I was talking about automation and being able to segment. I'm going to give you a tip, and something that Pat Flynn did from Smart Passive Income. Okay? What he did is simply this. As soon as you got an email from him, he said, "Hey, can I hear from you?" Okay? When you click on that, when you click open that email, you know what he's asking you? "Hey, how can I best help you?" And then he has 3 different links. I don't have a business yet. I do have a business, but I'm making about $500 and I'm stuck. Or I'm making more than $500 and I want to grow it. What happens is you click on one of those links and he tags you. Okay? He segments you into a separate group so that he can better market to you.
Otherwise known as a segment.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. You can do the same thing. It doesn't matter what market you're in. You could create segments of your own list. Let's say you do crochet. Or let's say, maybe you're into financial education. Or, I don't know, the markets or stock market or investing. Or maybe you're into woodworking. It doesn't matter what you're in. You could use segmenting for almost anything. And so I kind of twisted Mike's arm, and we got with ConvertKit, and we decided to set up a free trial for you guys if you want to check it out. Okay? And that free trial is over at sbppodcast.com/ConvertKit.
Simple, sweet, and to the point.
Check it out. If you guys like it, cool. I really hope I hope it serves you well. It's put out by a guy named Nathan Barry. It was done very well. It's a new company, but you know what? They're pretty good. And they do, and their pricing is not that bad. They can do things that all these other autoresponders can't do. For example, they only, the Awebers and the GetResponses and all them, if you try and set up more than one list and someone joins your first list and then joins your second, they're going to charge you twice. That's not what you want. Besides, you don't need to spend more money.
Right.
These ConvertKit, they only charge you one time. So you go and you go check them out. Again, that is sbppodcast.com/ConvertKit.
That's one time per month, guys. That's not one time only, okay? It is a monthly cost. But you do get your free trial to see that if it fits your business. I got to say, the tutorials with Ford are awesome, and the trainings are even better. I'm blown away by the trainings that they do.
The Facebook group that they have. I go in there every day and I'm learning more. So, hey, seriously, check them out.
Okay, and for our second gift, we have a ebook for you that's going to expand on what we've been talking about today, which is the inbound selling. So, and you can find that on the show notes page, at the bottom of the show notes page. That would be sbppodcast.com/23. Okay? There'll be a link right at the bottom. You click that link and you'll be subscribed, and you will instantly get our guide on inbound selling. So, I think we're done, Therese.
I think so too. Hey guys, do me a favor. If you like what we're doing, please rate and review us. If you find it useful, share the podcast. We're looking to provide value, that kind of stuff. So, I think with that, I'm Teresa.
I'm Michael.
And this has been the SBP Podcast.
Have an awesome, amazing, great, wonderful, whatever you want to call it, day.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. To catch all our past shows, visit sbppodcast.com.